Hello, hello. I'm Rannie, and you've reached the Vinyl Junkie Podcast. Today we have a special episode here of extended play. Uh, so yesterday I saw a link um, where the article was talking about how um, HMV pop-up shops were appearing in Toys R Us stores here in the GTA. So that's the Greater Toronto area for you guys that aren't local. Um, so the HMV, used to be a big chain here in Canada, and they closed down. I think it was 2017, somewhere around there. So about uh, yeah, bit more than that, 5 or 6 years now, 6, 7 years, um, and yeah, so they closed down, and now Toys R Us has opened up. I think it's 5 locations so far where they've put in um, these HMV mini stores in, in their stores. So, I thought I would go down and check one of the stores out. So to this afternoon, I went down to the Pickering store and wanted to see what the store was like. So I have some footage here for you guys to check out. Let's see if we can get this to go. So yeah, here we are at the store. Um, there's a display there at the front. Some box sets. You can see kind of the middle section here with some records. So that's all the records that they have. They also have books you can see on the side there, as well as a section of DVDs. Along the back there's mangas, there's CDs in the center, more books on the other side, and some Funko Pops. And at the far end, there's some turntables. Um, so yeah, it was quite an interesting experience. So in the article, they talked about how it's HMV branding, and it's yeah, they definitely have signage in there with the HMV like black and pink signs. Not quite the same as an HMV feel, but it gives that slight feel. Um, the selection, I did go through the bins to kind of see what they had in there, and it's your regular kind of selection. They had a good mix of things. They didn't have any separate sections, so like um, soundtracks, for example, were mixed in with just the regular records. It was strange. I actually got to the O section, and there's a whole bunch of soundtracks in there, like Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. And I guess they were putting them under um, original motion picture soundtracks. So O for original. But then there are other soundtracks that were alphabetized by the title, so that was a little confusing. Um, there was another section that I'm gonna uh, throw in some footage probably around here. So I totally missed the t-shirts here on this side. There's t-shirts and other collectibles. And then you can see the rest of the shop over there. So that section would have been what used to be the video game section. So that was that section, and overall, it was an okay experience. I do have to kind of wonder, who the market is for that they're trying to reach here. And when I was on my way there, it's like, well, yeah, the regular person that is looking for records might not necessarily be the same shopper that is a Toys R Us shopper. So that was a little confusing to me. Um, but then, I was thinking about it, and it was like, perhaps they are trying to tap into the younger market where you got some teens uh, or preteens that are in the store that might have an interest in vinyl or the likes of. They did have some Crossley turntables there, so if you wanted to pick up something like that, not the best kind of turntable to pick up if you're starting your vinyl collection, but they did have options. The price range in the store was on par with what you would see on Amazon or at a regular mom and pop shop. So nothing special there. But I guess in terms of like these stores are all in more suburban areas in the city. So where there might not be a local record store, kind of like that, kind of like downtown, where there are a number of shops that you can go shop at. In Pickering, for example, there is a Sunrise Records at the Pickering Town Center, so they have one of those there. But otherwise, those are kind of your only two options. I've been to the Sunrise store at the Pickering Town Center before, and they have a lot of the similar products there. So from Funko Pops to CDs and whatnot, but definitely a bigger selection, like you've seen in the video. And maybe I'll loop that video again here. Like you see in the video that there isn't a lot of vinyl. There's just literally these two rows right here, and you can see even at that it's not full. I was surprised at how many DVDs they had. That whole wall was insane, and the amount of CDs. So there's like two whole aisles on both sides. So like 6 sides altogether of CDs. So that was really quite impressive, considering like the CD market isn't as strong as it used to be. But there you have it. They've definitely kind of made an offering. I don't know how successful that offering is going to be, but I guess time will tell. I know there are plans to open more of these stores across the GTA. So I guess we'll see over the course of the year if they're successful at that. I did notice that there were a couple of record store day titles within the mix of regular records in the bins, so that was kind of interesting. And they did have like quite a decent t-shirt selection in the store. Although, like, I know my buddy Derek at Pop Music, his shirts generally go for about $25. Same thing at Dead Dog Records. And the price point here at Toys R Us it looked like it was about $30 for a shirt. So paying a little bit more. There was signage throughout the sections saying that they would price match. So that was interesting. And there is a whole section of manga books on the back there, and there was signage for the manga books stating that some of the content might be a little mature for younger audiences. So it was quite interesting to see, those kind of items just kind of readily available for any kid to kind of wander over and peruse. But hey, we'll see how that goes. So, I in terms of would I shop here? Maybe. Maybe if I'm in the area, I wouldn't necessarily come here to do my regular vinyl shopping. But if I happen to be in the store, for sure I'd check it out. It is kind of interesting that they've taken up this physical media, considering so the section where they've placed the HMV pop-up shop is the section that used to be occupied by video games and electronics. So the Toys R Us no longer carries video games, so they've kind of phased out of that kind of physical media. So it was kind of interesting to see that they've replaced that with vinyl and DVDs and CDs as well as books. So I, to be honest, I'm kind of sad that they don't carry video games anymore, because I am a little bit of a video game aficionado as well. But I guess we'll see how well this physical media does for Toys R Us. Right now, there are, I think, 5 locations in the GTA. There's 2 in Mississauga, 1 in Pickering, and I don't remember where the other 2 are. There is article on BlogTO, which kind of launched this announcement. So I'll link that below. So go check that out. And if you're in the area of one of these Toys R Us's, maybe you'll want to check them out. I'm not sure if they open this door to kind of play on the nostalgia of having an HMV. I know recently Hudson's Bay Company opened up pop-up shops for Zellers within their stores in the last year. So I don't know if they're trying to follow that model. The nostalgia here for an HMV is quite different. It's odd, kind of considering the setup of your typical Toys R Us. It's a lot bigger and a lot brighter, where when you used to go to an HMV store, they did have a darker feel to their stores, with a darker branding. So it's definitely not the same experience. The whole time I was there, there wasn't anyone kind of manning this area of the store. And I was there for a good 10-15 minutes, and like no one kind of wandered over to see if I needed any help or anything. It just seems like right now they've kind of placed these in their stores. They don't have any staff necessarily watching over the section. I know when they used to have the video games in their stores, which is occupying the same footprint, that section used to have its own cache and its own staff that covered that part of the store. So it is kind of interesting that it's just kind of a free-for-all. You just kind of do your shopping, and hey, that might be the shopping experience you want, where you just kind of browse, pick the items that you want, and bring it up to the cache. But it's definitely not the same kind of experience of going to a mom and pop shop, where they might have like a record playing, where you have the associates working there who might get to know you and give you suggestions on music, which is, always an experience that I enjoy having when I'm at a record store. There've definitely been many a times where, I've gone into a record store, not with anything in particular in mind, and then they're playing a certain record, or I've been there enough that they know what I like and what I love to buy, and are happily making suggestions for me in terms of new releases. So there is a little lackluster in terms of the experience, but you know, the store has quite a decent sized footprint. Hopefully they'll kind of find their legs. It is nice to see more options coming back in terms of retail spaces that have records. But I don't know. For me, it was a little bit of a meh. I think I would definitely prefer going to a smaller shop, which is more personable and more kind of warm and inviting than this kind of bigger retail experience that was just kind of there. So there you have it. So if you enjoyed this extended play episode of Vinyl Junkie, then please hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and if you've checked out one of these HMV pop-up shops, comment below. Let me know what you think of the experience. That's it for me today, and we'll see you on the B-side. Cheers.